if you can expand on how the expansion of Israel's security corridor in southern Gaza further threatened the enclave's already collapsing humanitarian infrastructure.
Greetings to you and all the honorable viewers. Expanding the Mirage corridor significantly, which separates Rafah city from Khan Yunus, as this expansion is highly significant, which reflects the occupation's desire to isolate the city completely and then turn it into a buffer zone as announced previously. Of course, all the IDF actions, whether the bombing or the expansion of the Mirage corridor, which is called by Netanyahu as the Philadelphia version 2, affects the geography of Gaza and even the shape of the strip, as the IDF is doing that to keep the shape of Gaza, to change actually the shape of Gaza and turn it uninhabitable.
Now, sir, given the UN's warning that Gaza is on the brink of collapse at this particular timing, how close is Gaza to a complete breakdown of essential services like food, water, and healthcare?
When we talk about the complete siege for 15 months, and in the recent 2 months after the ceasefire agreement collapsed entirely, there has been no humanitarian aid in Gaza. The international humanitarian organizations that used to work on Gaza is calling upon the world, or the international organization are talking about the collapse of the medical sector in Gaza. Only 10% of its capacity is operating barely at the moment. Of course, the relief and water efforts are deteriorating by the second, and the media is talking about the mortars falling due to the lack of food and pharmaceuticals, most prominently from women and children, and even the infants dying due to the malnutritioned mothers and caretakers. According to Geneva reports, they are considering these martyrs as victims of war, exactly like those who fall due to bullets. The humanitarian needs in the Gaza Strip now are increasing, and they might not survive through April.
Now, sir, I gotta ask you, what are the immediate and long-term implications of turning nearly 1/3 of Gaza into military-controlled zones on civilian survival and, of course, displacement?
When the defense minister Katz talks about the IDF controlling more than 25% of the Gaza Strip, added to 10% of the buffer zones, these eastern zones of Gaza, practically they are taking control of more area than that, because the entire coast now is controlled by the IDF, and they are completely controlled, around 40 kilometers. The north is also under the IDF control, and there are no Palestinian populations up there. We're talking about more than half of the Gaza Strip area under the Israeli control. Now the people are confined in 30% of the area in Khan Yunus and Deir al-Balah and the rest of central Gaza, and nevertheless, these zones are not safe because they are bombed by the occupation on a daily basis. We have seen dead, burned bodies of complete families. These zones were announced by the occupation as safe zones, but they weren't.